Howdy, welcome on in. Thanks for joining me on my channel. I'm your master cosmologist and the head cheerleader to the stars, here with a weekly forecast for the week of April 21st through April 27, 2025. The word that I picked up for the week is the word class. This is a rich word. It has so many different meanings right now. But why I believe it's coming through is because the asteroid Academia has reached 29 degrees Taurus today, which is study and learning and higher education at the Pleiades, at the Seven Sisters, where class even comes from, meaning case, meaning being classy instead of trashy, being in a class of one's own, kind of standing apart, standing out, being of a different caliber. Ooh, how do I even want to approach this? Definitely recommend Googling or picking up a physical dictionary and looking up the word class and reading over the definition yourself just to see what you glean for yourself this week. There's a sense of if you have been riding in the cargo bay your entire life, you finally get an invite to first class seating, maybe even your own private jet this week. And it all really begins with how you treat yourself. If you treat yourself trashy in any area of your life, then that's going to keep speaking volumes of how others can and will treat you. Where there's this need to just finally treat yourself like the gem, like the diamond that you are, and nothing less, and accept nothing but that treatment from anyone else. Not in a snooty tooty, demanding, rude, low, inferior way. It's just a commanding presence that informs others of who they're dealing with and the type of behavior that you deserve. Right off the bat, Earth and Scorpio, there's a need to put an end to fighting, being a hood rat, being vindictive, seeking revenge, being shady, lowering yourself in any manner to seek some sort of payback. Meaning we have to be the bigger person. We have to step up into a different quality, a different expectation, a different class. With that's coming manners and elegance, carriage, poise, how we come across, the energy should lead, and that leadership quality should be striking. It should be impressive. Empress or emperor vibes. That game. That as your presentation. And there's a lot of resistance because we've had to live as paupers or low class, second class citizens. And it has nothing to do with your financial status. You could have a lot of money and still be treated in this manner just because of the system that promoted certain individuals and put down and demoted others. I'm hearing gypsies, tramps, and thieves, the dervish version. I love both. I love dervishes and I love shares. Dervishes is more folksy. the reason the song's coming through is because we've been treated that way. The words, the lyrics of the song moved along, had to dance for the money they'd throw, Papa did whatever he could, preach a little gospel, sell a couple bottles of Dr. Good. We had to be snake oil salesmen and do inferior things to earn a living on this planet. And then the share version is giving me share main character energy, share glam, share glow up. Think Cher in that hot number where she had the sequin dress that just covered her breasts and had a cutout at her abs and was long and elegant, but sexy as fuck. That's the type of glam I'm picking up on. It's very Taurish. Taurish? Interesting. Taurus-ish. Taurus-ish. I guess it's just a hard word to make up. Taurus-ish. I'm going to run down the definition real quick. I don't want to get too wordy and long-winded there. Class as a noun is a set or category of things having some property or attribute in common and differentiated from others by kind, type, or quality. This is the birds of a feather or cows of a certain class herding together, where you're going to see very clearly that you don't fit in amongst the plebes. You never did. It's not that you can't hang with them and you can't get along to get by. There is just this feeling of knowing that you're in a different grade, a different arena. Kind of like how there's preschoolers and there's college students. Nobody's better than anyone else. It's just an age, a maturation, a life stage differentiation, different classes. And classifying things. There's kind of a taxonomic biology. There's something scientific there coming through too. Noun form is also the system of ordering a society in which people are divided into sets based on perceived social or economic status. That would be caste systems. A social division based on social or economic status. The classes, the rich or educated. Impressive stylishness in appearance or behavior. Okay, they just jumped into completely different things. Okay, so if we could imagine a 50-50 split of the haves and the have-nots in any era, in any polarity flip, the haves are now kind of becoming the have-nots, and the have-nots are becoming the haves. And then you might feel compelled to be more decadent, more adorned, trying not to get frustrated. As I open my throat chakra, as I get very clear about my messages and not pussyfoot around them, as I just tell the truth as I know it to be, as I see what's coming, as I'm portending, there's so much stuttering because it is not the norm. It's not what I'm accustomed to. I'm always finding myself historically dumbing myself down, watering my message down, avoiding the truth, not being direct, not being upfront, tiptoeing around subjects. It's not happening anymore, and truth bombs are just exploding, but as they do, they're more like farting out my mouth. I know that's gross. Like stuttering and puttering. The What am I trying to say? You're probably experiencing this too, is why I'm bringing it up and harping on it, is that your mouth will get its shit together when it finally feels comfortable and safe to just say it without any sort of tongue tripping or even a mental hiccup that causes the stutter because there's an imperceptible, unconscious, should I even be sharing that? Should I be saying that thing? It never felt safe to say that thing before. What if? What if the pitchforks come for me? Oh, you will not be coming for us any longer. If you hurt any of my posse, we will not help you. We will not. Okay, moving on. Impressive stylishness in appearance or behavior, that is the need to adorn. You might feel for the first time in a long time like buying new clothes, painting your nails, getting your hair did, putting on some makeup, getting out of frumpy land, not going to town in your sweaty yoga clothes, not wearing your pajamas to Walmart with the Christmas colors. I saw that the other day. I was like, I know, honey, sometimes we need to run to town in our pajamas, but the Christmas ones, I don't know. Who am I to judge? Wear whatever the fuck you want, but I can tell what time it is, and my brain was picking up on it. And impressive behavior, Empress. The Empress energy, the Emperor energy is impressive. It has command. It has the true nature of these archetypes, has its head held high, its shoulders thrown back, its spine straight as I'm leaning. There's a string coming from the top of the crown, pulling you upright. It's not hunched, it's not stooped. The shoulders are not coming forward to protect a wounded heart. It's throwing those back and leading with the heart. It's a different posture. It's a different way of taking up space. It's a commandment through your presence. It also moves energy. It will clear the room, kind of like a bowling ball or a wrecking ball. Not destructively. It's going to part the crowds when you come through. Your energy will lead. It'll walk into a room before you have any eyes on you, even. Class is a group of students who are taught together. There's going to be new academies, new trade schools. This might just be a percolation. This might be something that just starts to arise in you, or if you've held on to it for a long time, you might be able to pull that into some semblance of a concept or order. Or even organically, you might just feel compelled to call people up and say, hey, I'm teaching this thing, or come to this group where it's kind of informal. An occasion when students meet with their teacher for instruction, a lesson, a course of instruction, might feel compelled to take new courses, new classes, watch new videos, pick up new books, learn a new skill. There's also a revival of manners, like old-fashioned manners, and that type of class, being classy and elegant. What else? Verb, the verb form is assign or regard as belonging to a particular category. I do feel like there's some sort of classification going on. Peas and carrots. This goes over here, that goes over here. Things separating, not divisive, not division, but just an imperceptible kind of, I'm going to stay over here, or this is my type of joint, and these aren't, where there's an inability to maybe input your energy into certain spaces anymore, classifying things that are for you and against you, that serve you and don't, and just peas and carrots, putting them on different sides. The adjective is showing stylish excellence. Oh, I like that. Showing stylish excellence. That's a big theme for me right now, where I loved fashion and I loved to speak through fashion and make a statement and portray certain trends, not trendy trends in magazines or on TV, just things that I was picking up on the cosmic airwaves and presenting clothes in really unique combinations that were still elegant and stylish. Interesting note is if you look at fashion, the runways, the magazines, pick up the latest magazine if you haven't picked up one in a long time, and notice there's a lack of class and style and elegance. It looks very dumpy and frumpy and trying too hard in a way, trying to be too avant-garde in a way that's not even practical or stylish. It's just kind of ugly or tacky. You know, art is subjective, to each their own. I'm thinking more old school Hollywood, old school glamour. The stars when they curled their hair and put on lipstick and wore pearls and wore an evening gown that didn't have their ass cheeks dripping out the back of it. There is just this kind of different visual style excellence that's wanting to be presented, like a new royalty, a new regalness. Phrases: a class act, a person or thing displaying impressive and stylish excellence in a class of its own, unequaled, especially in excellence or performance. We're going to be asked to step up our game, to not be lame, to not be stagnant, to not procrastinate, to not put it off. And that's why we're so tired right now. Like, I don't wanna. Do I have to? Yes, you do. Yes, you do. It's time. Go out there, put your best face forward, make an impressive in-person impression. And let's see, anything else? Nope, we'll go into cards. I'm pulling from Nature Nurture Oracle deck, Animal Magic Oracle cards, and Enchanted for Hoxa Tarot. I do know that this chameleon card wants out. It has shown itself to me twice, and I can't ignore it. I'm putting it as the blessing. I'm just going to choose it intentionally that it's the blessing because it has such a glow up quality to it. He's neon, and chameleons have a lot to do with fashion and standing out and being in a class of their own. You know, they are known for camouflaging. But what's interesting is when a chameleon steps off of what it was blending into, it stands out starkly on the next thing that it steps onto before it color matches again. I really get a sense of vibrant colors, wearing colors again. If you've been drab, if your wardrobe has been kind of sad and frumpy, pulling a lot more vibrant colors into the wardrobe. I guess while I have this deck out, we'll go with the block. So I pull a blessing, a block, a theme, an underlying energy, and a card for each week. Oh, interesting. I've got bald eagle as the block. Let's go with Monday. Pop up on my screen and I can't stare at it 1 second longer. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, I'm hearing Thor's Day. Something interesting about Thor's Day. That would be the 24th. While it's on my mind, I'll just peek at the 24th and see. Why Thor's Day? No, the moon's gonna go through kind of a battlefield, obstacles, hurdles in Pisces, high Pisces, which might feel like American Gladiator running through a gauntlet, having to hit these moody past historical things one more time. It might feel a little like thunder and lightning, or you need to employ that Taurus charge to push through it, like thunder and lightning, where it's not an obstacle anymore and you blast out of the way. So let's see what, I'll just show you when I pull it so we don't get lost and forget about Thor's Day when I pulled a card. 8 of Fire. Look at her. Chariots of Fire. Ba, 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 ba. Yeah, I like that. It does feel like a charge, charging through something, blasting through something. Interesting. It has chariot energy all over it, even though it's the, I mean, the 8 of Wands, 8 of Fire is the minor version of the chariot, and it could be seen as little torpedoes, dive bombers. Interesting. That was Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Whatever that card is on the bottom there, it's Sunday. And wait, we need the underlying energy, I forgot. And finally, our theme. Puppy! Come here, puppy guy. Oh my goodness, I love it. It just tumbled out. The theme is buffalo. So we'll just start there. Abundance. The cow's coming home. Your just desserts, your just rewards, your... I did a poll the other day and I said something like your pentacles coming home, like your pentacles coming home to roost, meaning your nest egg, your bank being full. Not necessarily money, but feeling a solid sense of worth, inherent. This is very inherent. What I also find interesting is it's a white buffalo. Very specific hit on white buffalo woman here. White buffalo woman, she knows that the fecundity, the abundance of the earth is in commodities, things that you can eat. You cannot eat money. That's the teaching. I also get here the saying, it's become kind of a trope in the spiritual world of running through the storm, not running away from the storm, running through head first, how a buffalo does. The way it's reading is you're on the other side of the storm. You are on the other side of the storm, and you know when it happens? On Thor's Day. You get through the gauntlet and you're on the other side of the storm. This is a charge. This is a stampede. You know what I'm getting? I'm getting like a stampede of angels just busting onto the scene and onto their home turf. There's an arrival. There's a sense, puppy, come here. I'm just gonna scream. He wants to go outside. I'll probably have to let him outside. There's a sense of arrival. Reaching your home turf, and it is the land of abundance. The cornucopias are full. It's a land that serves you. It pays you to exist, I heard. And I know that saying is getting old. It's getting old. Everyone's picking up on it, but there's something to it. All right, let's pick up. I find it interesting too. This has been a pretty prevalent purge for me lately, is the bridge of my nose for some reason. As I speak on these new energies, as I speak truths that have been suppressed for decades, for some reason it's coming out here. This is always a purge zone for me, high heart, between the throat chakra and the heart. I always release a lot here when I'm moving into new turf. But this one's kind of new and different. All right, let's see her. Monday today, I've got the Chariot. This does read to me more like you're preparing the vehicle, you're preparing the vessel, you're preparing the chariot. You are yoking. I gotta let this cat out. He is driving me bazonkers. I'll take that as a message. Who let the cats out? I mean, the cats want to run on the open range. I have two cats. They have been perfectly content to be house loafers, just house ornaments, couch ornaments, for years and years and years. And as I went through my, what would I want to call it, liberation, they did too. Suddenly they started sneaking outside, pushing through the screens, scratching at the doors, clawing to get out, crying, screaming, free range, feral. This is the same kind of energy. She's making her escape. She's charging into this new territory, this new land. The Four of Fires the next day. To me, it reads, it's interesting because it's the Four of Wands, and this is a very not Four of Wands type of image. I have to just take it for what it is. Let's see. Look at the guide. The only thing I'm getting is this sense of stumbling. Like, she looks like she's gonna fall onto the earth, and there's a sense of you blasting hard forward and falling onto the earth. I don't understand. I actually am having a hard time deciphering. Maybe I should just take it in for a second. And maybe I won't read it day by day like I normally do. What I'm getting here, I'll just go with the overarching sense that I'm getting here. I think why it's hard to decipher is because we are stepping into brand new territory, and there's not an ability to read it, tap it, know it. Yeah, it's foreign. It's foreign because we haven't been on this side in a very long time. With the chariot at the beginning of the week, it feels like we do head into it, and then it feels like we stumbled and tripped into it. I've got the Nine of Air. I guess maybe I'll go with the cards. Nine of Air on Wednesday. It feels a little like PTSD, or PTSD is not even the right word. Maybe just feeling foreign, and that's a little scary and alarming and a cause for anxiety or panic or just a sense of malice. It's almost like an acclimation energy. You have to acclimatize to it, and it's gonna feel a little different and out of the ordinary. Maybe a little scary because it does feel so different. And then I feel like on Thursday, it actually feels a lot more celebratory, like you made it. A sense of arrival. Yeah, that's what I was getting earlier too. Maybe that was a little premature in saying that this was breaking into the new turf. I think this is an overnight, several day process. It begins overnight. And then there's a sense of really landing and arriving, not in the, I just tripped here. It feels like your home turf. It feels like native. It feels native. 10 of fire on Friday. It actually feels like a sense of relief to me, actually, where she's not a mule. She's not a slave. There's a putting it down for good sensation here. The lovers, this is your come up. This is you adorning. This is the class and the elegance. You might look different. You might feel different. You might hold your head high. You might carry yourself different. The lover's aspect to this doesn't feel romantic or about relationship. It's the relationship with yourself where you feel worthy. You feel high class and you feel like putting on the good clothes, taking out the good china, that type of energy. The 9 of fire is Sunday. You know what I get with the eyes there is who dat? Who dat? You're on your glow up and people be peeping you. People be spying on you. People be noticing. There's something different about you. Onlookers. Because something happens with your appearance. You don't blend in anymore. You go through a change of skin. It could all just be a very internal glow up, which radiates a different energetic signature to people, where they can tell finally all the hard work and effort that you put in because you look like a changed person. The block is eagle. One of the hardest things this week is the perception shift, that you're no longer in the trenches, no longer in the dump, no longer in the trash heap, no longer hanging out in the refuse pile. I'm getting high class here and soaring, very regal, but it feels foreign. You're not accustomed to it, not to this level, not to this level yet. This feels like levels. You're a baby bald eagle right now. And you're going to be on your come up and feeling more regal, more proud, more like head honcho, precedential. That's been a big thing lately too, where we don't need presidents any longer. We need precedents. We need people who are precedential, setting new precedents, leading by example, where you're a bald eagle baby. You're a little chick at this, being precedential, setting new precedents. And finally, the underlying enemy, energy. The underlying energy for this week is the Ace of Air, and I said underlying enemy. It's the Ace of Swords. The boogeymen were mostly in your head. They were conjured. They were imaginary monsters. They weren't even true adversaries. They weren't real foes. It feels like she's banishing them. She's saying, talk to the hand. She doesn't have time to mess with imaginary monsters any longer. Her mind can't be cluttered. She can't be spooked. She can't be stopped. She can't be prevented by all of this cast of characters. You know, they just slink off into the background and become looky-loos. They might be creepy still. They might be creepers. But I don't think they want to mess with her. She doesn't look like someone that you want to sneak up on, because she'll impale you this time around. Anything else with this Ace of Air? She has a force field. That's the Earth in Scorpio. Her force field game is on fleek. It's impenetrable. Her boundaries are up. You can't get past them anymore. And it's all because of a change of perception. How you see things, how you think, how you behave, how you carry yourself, what class you know you're in. Knowing you're a classy broad. All right, guys, that's the message for this week. I wish you the best, and let me know. Update me in the comments. Goodbye.